bought this Orca Predator, I don't know, 6, 8 years ago, literally in the words of Ross. It owes me nothing. I've had some amazing swims in this wetsuit, had some amazing adventures in it, and I've got a horrible feeling it really might be on its last season. It's been repaired to within an inch of its life. It's proper Triggers broom stuff, you know.
This old broom has had 17 new heads and 14 new handles in its time.
Had some amazing repair work done by a company a couple of years back. I don't know if you can see that patch there. Had a full rip in it, and they did an amazing repair on it. But the patches that I'm going to repair today are just little rips in the shoulder, where obviously the main bit of movement comes through. You can see it's already been patched up and patched in a few times, just to say the least, you know, here and here. So I'm going to very quickly go through how to use Black Witch, which is this stuff, which most of you probably be aware of. It's a neoprene contact adhesive, and when I worked at the triathlon shop, we used to sort of do little repairs. Nothing on a patch with these amazing ones here, but we used to do quite a few repairs to customers' wetsuits and to the wetsuits in the shop. It's pretty simple. It takes a bit of practice, but it is pretty simple, and you can get some pretty good results. But there are some simple guidelines to go through to try and get the best results out of it. So you are going to need some Black Witch neoprene repair contact adhesive, patches, different shapes and sizes that you can get off Amazon, neoprene repair patches, ice lolly sticks, block of wood, some dumbbell weights or some heavy books, and a pair of scissors. So the first thing I always do, make sure I've got a clean, flat, dead flat surface to work off. You'll see why in a minute. And then find the repair that you want to make. Now in this case, on the outside it's here, you can probably see my finger coming through there. It's on the shoulder, loads of movement comes through the shoulder, and this is less than 1 millimeter thick on the arms, so it's not particularly strong around here. So what I want to do is put one of these medium patches on the inside where the rip is. Here, that's where the patch is going to go. So what I need to do to start off with is get it so it's super flat, and then I put contact adhesive on. It's like with the patches you get with Black Witch, there's like a smooth side and then a kind of more fabric-y side, if that makes sense. Very similar to the inside of the wetsuit. What you want to make sure you do on the patch is make sure you get it right to the very edges. Now I use just a little ice lolly stick. You don't need much of this. Try and keep it off the thread if you can, because otherwise it just gets really messy. Just use an ice lolly stick just to get it right to the edges. It's really important that you get it right to the edges of the patch. Good excuse to eat ice lollies. And once you've done that, leave it to one side for a second, and then the other side, on the inside where you want to make the repair, you want to do the same thing. Now you can draw around the patch to make sure you're covering exactly the right area, but I'm going to guess it because I've forgotten to do that bit. It's not that vital as long as you've roughly got the right area. Anyway, same thing, leave it, get it nice and covered as best you can, and then make sure you leave it to dry flat. Now the next step means you have to leave it 2 to 5 minutes just to let it dry off, go tacky. You basically don't want it to be shiny any longer, so you need to leave it a good 2 to 5 minutes. Hey Siri, time 2 minutes.
2 minutes, counting down.
And we are there. It's nice and dry. There's no shiny bits there anymore. Make sure you can see that. All the really sort of super shiny bits are gone, just left with a really tacky mess. Now you kind of get one shot of this, so make sure you got your wetsuit super flat on the clean flat surface, and then just apply the patch immediately over the area you're repairing to get it really well covered. Okay, and then flip the wetsuit over so you've got where the actual external nick is, and then do the same thing but on the outside. Try not to get any on the outside because obviously that will then stick to what we're about to do. You just try and get it on the edges of the wetsuit, and then leave that till it goes tacky. So now we've got a little bit of an edge there, and that's gone tacky, and we flip it back over, back to the side where we'd put the patch. Again, get it super flat, and then all those offcuts of wood, that you never thought you'd need. This is where they come in handy. And triathletes are always talking about strength and conditioning and having barbells and things like that. Well, this is why. It's got nothing to do with strength and conditioning. It's all to do with repairing wetsuits. So get a piece of wood, put it nice and flat, hard on that surface, and then take some weights. Leave it on there, putting the pressure on it, keep it as flat as possible. Leave that as flat as possible. You know what, it doesn't actually say how long it takes to dry, and obviously atmospheric conditions make a big difference, but it's a contact adhesive, so it doesn't really take any time to go off once you've left it to go tacky. But I tend to like to leave it for 10-15 minutes in this position just to keep that weight on. Now I have got some other repairs to do. Maybe I'll run through those because they might be slightly different, but generally speaking, that is how I try and get a wetsuit to last as long as possible. So you can see now this is the join on the shoulder that I did earlier. Can't get my finger through there at all. There's also a sizable rip in the wetsuit material there. I'm just going to whack a bit of black witch in there just to join the seal up on the outside as well. Generally speaking though, that is how we can prolong the life of some wetsuits that are oftentimes quite expensive beasts to have to buy sometimes. So anything we can do to prolong them, all the better for it. Hope that's been of some use to some of you.